Owner and co-publisher of Campaign Selections, back for another live from CampaignTech East 2019. I'm here with Yemi Adewunmi from Civic Eagle, who just recently left the stage. You were on a panel talking about women in technology, and specifically a conversation around female founders and partners and lessons. And there were some tremendous quotes that came out of that session. My favorite one was, if you charge more, people are much less likely to yell at you and complain. You're a co-founder, and one of the things I thought was interesting in your comments, you were talking about how actually fantastic it can be to start with a partner in business and build out. Talk to me about your journey starting a business and why that was important.
Yeah. So I actually started Civic Eagle with my business partner, Damola Gundape. And at the time, I was working in the New York State Legislature as a policy analyst. I was also going through grad school, getting my master's in public administration. So at the time I got to see both how the sausage was made and the reasons why and how the sausage was made, both academically as well as on the job. And I honestly felt really frustrated with the kind of antiquated systems that were in place in the state government to get, policy, negotiated and passed and legislation. It's a very complex system, and I really just wanted to find a better solution. My business partner at the time was similarly trying to understand healthcare policy and understand the nuances of the Affordable Care Act, and he couldn't find a good source of information about how policy was going to impact him and his job. And so we really thought creatively around how can we use technology to make this process better? And we really were on a mission around getting everyday people to understand their role in the civic process and in the policy-making process. So that was the catalyst for us, and all along the journey, we both, and as well as our other business partners, we all learned the different challenges and nuances of building a business.
Well, let me talk to you about that, because that's like deciding you want to start a business and actually starting the business are totally different things. Talk to me about that, and for anyone watching who's thinking of starting their own shop, starting their own firm. Talk to me about that initial process and how you overcame those hurdles. What kind of challenges you encountered that you didn't maybe expect? What lessons have you taken away?
There's just so many elements to running a successful business. My business partners and I knew we didn't want to just do this half-heartedly, and so it's really about knowing your strengths and then filling in the gaps where you need them. So, we put together a team around our strengths. For me, it was the policy experience, as well as having a creative background and an interest in design thinking and user experience design. I was learning a lot about that kind of as a hobby. My business partner, he has a finance background, and so he's really strong in sales and fundraising. We brought on someone who has 20 years of experience as a policy professional in lobbying and in urban planning, and so she really helped us understand the industry, which helps us in sales conversations and partnership opportunities. And of course, as a tech company, you need somebody who can develop something. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wasn't learning how to code. I did think I was going to somehow become a front-end developer.
Just full stack developer.
Yeah, full stack designer and developer and this. But realistically, I believe that, you have, the intersection of where your strengths are and where your interests lie is really the sweet spot of having not only a successful business, but just being happier, it's a lot of hard work starting a company. It's not for the faint of heart.
You've got to really love what you're doing.
You have to love what you do, and the only way to really do that is to feel fulfilled both in the skills that you're providing day to day, and then also in what you're pursuing and the mission that you're trying to achieve. So I found a sweet spot of I still have this passion and love of politics and policy, but I knew that I couldn't do that in the traditional sense of working with the state legislature. So having this company, building it the way that we want to build it, has been really fulfilling.
Pivoting back to the panel, one of the kind of topics that came up was specific challenges that female founders have encountered and kind of advice they would give to young female entrepreneurs who are thinking of taking that leap from maybe they're in a full-time job or something and they want to take that leap. Could you speak to some of those specific challenges that you think female entrepreneurs are more likely to encounter, and how you've in your own career addressed those?
Yeah, someone on the panel mentioned, I think it was Jessica Brown, she mentioned, we as women do have to be twice as good. I think it's also about, I think we also want to be perfectionists. For me, the areas where we did not grow as quickly as we could have, it was because I had a fear around putting something out there. In the tech space, they talk about fail fast. And not everybody has the luxury of failing fast, but I think it's more so about running experiments and hypotheses. You have an idea, you have an objective, you have your thoughts around who's the best customer for your business, who's going to get the most value out of your product. You have a hypothesis, an idea around how it's going to help their, the end user, the objective you're achieving in their product, and the only way to really know that is if you actually put something out there.
Yeah, totally.
And so we've learned how to run small experiments, asking and getting feedback from our customers frequently. Those are the little details that if you put that into your day-to-day process, your weekly process, you're able to make incremental progress on your product and not feel like, because you can get into analysis paralysis, right? You get into a place where you feel like, I can't pull the trigger, I can't deploy this product or feature until I know for a fact or I know for certain that's going to work. But it is sometimes better to just put it out there, test it out, see what happens, and that's how you make small progress.
Final question, and I think it's a challenge for almost any startup, is funding, right? And how you fund it. One of the things that come up is obviously when it comes to funding, when it comes to venture capital, female founders find it much more difficult to get that kind of traditional funding. Can you again, kind of advice for someone who is in the shoes that you were in not so long ago? How did you go about financing your business? How big a challenge was that? What did you do?
Yeah, and we're still fundraising right now. We bootstrapped for a number of years using our own time and energy. And
was this while you were full-time employed still?
Yeah. And then the catalyst for us was getting into some accelerator programs. And I say that's a catalyst because not only did it provide funding for us, but it also put us in an environment of startup culture and of how to scale quickly and being around other businesses and other companies who are on that same journey, because it is different than running a small business. It is the expectations are different. The investors are going to ask.
They're looking for the J curve.
And so it's about being in those accelerator programs taught us how to tell that story, tell the J curve story, and the opportunity that the market presents. It also taught us the lingo of like how to talk to VCs. It taught us the grind of the startup grind is a little bit different than a small business where the expectations are just so much higher, and the network that you have to build. So all those components of a program like that, in addition to the funding that they provide, they do take equity. So I do tell a lot of entrepreneurs, like, venture capital is not for everyone. Not every business is going to have a 10x return for their investors. A lot of investors don't want a 3x return. You can still have a successful business without going venture. So for us, we've been through 3 different accelerators, just wrapping up Techstars right now. And that's just been a great opportunity to learn from mentors and alumni of these accelerator programs to put us in the right position to fundraise. And at the end of the day, as minorities, as women and people of color, my team is a very diverse team. And we are aware, we're very clearly aware that it's going to be harder for us. But at the same time, I'm very optimistic that the right investors will find us, will find each other. We don't want to have to change who we are to raise money. And we don't have to do anything but be excellent and just produce great products and have happy customers in order to raise money.
Well, Yemi Adewunmi, thank you from Civic Eagle. Check them out. Thank you for joining us for another CampaignTech East 2019 live video. You can check out all of our other videos on the Campaign Selections Facebook page and, of course, at campaignselections.com on the video page. Thanks again.